Yo, so guys, keeping it chill here, and welcome to another reaction video. Today, we're gonna be reacting to some more llama arts, and we're gonna just have fun with it. I really enjoyed the last episode where we basically watched the compilation, and we're basically back with a part two. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this video. And I will leave Llama Arts channel as well as their playlist in the description down below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
I was typing away on my keyboard when I heard a noise from outside my cubicle. It sounded like just a random crack from the walls or something. It's unusual in this building, but I didn't get too concerned about it. I resumed typing away and
I
was
don't
once
feel
again
comfortable low
interrupted by a
key.
sound.
Like,
This time,
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I don't have a job right now. But I bet you I will feel so uncomfortable just working at like a dark area with only just you because you don't know if anyone's going to be there. Like, it could be just me, but
the sound of a
I feel
computer
I
starting
feel
up.
uncomfortable if that happened to
It
me.
caught me off guard. I was sure nobody else was working the night shift. I stood up on my chair to get a view over the cubicle walls. The glare of a computer screen in the dark was visible in a cubicle on the
Oh,
opposite side of the
you
room.
you see what I'm saying?
Then I did something stupid, something I regret. I asked if there was anybody there in a yell, hoping to get an answer from a fellow employee.
Yup, that's a stupid answer. Yup, this dude said. Of course he did. See, the thing about um these stories and whatnot, I've always wondered like, oh, if I was in a position of this, how would I uh be if I was in a position like this? I would definitely not be doing that because if you're obviously giving your area away clearly by saying, "Is anyone in there?" or um what is it? Is anyone in there or is there someone in there? Like it's so stupid.
But instead, I saw the glaring light of the computer monitor across the room turn off,
See, he's
and there
coming to
was
get
once
your
again
ass.
nothing but darkness on that side of the room. I started getting nervous. I turned off the lamp and computer screen so that I wouldn't give away my position to whoever that was.
Okay.
I crouched down and tiptoed out across to a nearby cubicle. There was just utter silence. I sat waiting for something to happen for God knows how long, but I eventually decided the coast was clear. I tiptoed down past all the cubicles until I reached the opening near the exit door to the stairs and
See, that's
elevators,
your chance. Go.
and that's when I realized that my fearful suspicion was true. There was a man crouched down behind a plant in the corner of the
Oh,
room, dressed in all black. I
yo,
felt my heart
that's like a
sink as I
crouching
noticed
down.
him,
Like,
but it didn't
whoa.
seem like he knew that I noticed him. I turned back to the stairway door. There was no way I was going to wait for the elevator and take a chance. I casually opened the door and closed it behind me, proceeding to walk down the stairs. After making it down about 2 flights of stairs, I heard the door above me push open aggressively, followed by
Oh, you
manic
better run,
echoing
bro.
footsteps coming fast down the stairs.
Boy, you better
I
run.
raced down the stairs, running as fast as I could, all while the footsteps above me were getting louder. I finally made it to the first floor, raced through the lobby, and out the front door. Whoever was in there didn't follow me. I immediately called the cops, along with one of my bosses. My boss said no one was scheduled to work except for me. The cops scanned the place from top to bottom.
Wow.
There was no one in there. I couldn't help them out with any description other than he was wearing all black. I did continue to do the night shift for about a week after that, with my boss allowing me to lock all possible entrances to the floor, including the elevators. But I still wasn't comfortable with it,
Right?
so ever since, I've been doing the day shifts.
Smart. Excuse me. But that's smart to do. Like I said, I'm not comfortable with doing that. So that's one crazy story though.
This happened 4 years ago when I was still in high school. I was told to do my last delivery of my shift. I got in my car, which was a 1999 Camry, perfect for delivering pizzas. I GPSed the address on my phone. I live upstate in the country, so all pizza deliveries were long drives. I remember the sun was starting to set, so it was probably around 7 o'clock. I'd say after a good 15 minutes of driving through the foresty dirt roads, my GPS said I had arrived. It was an old little cottage-like house made almost entirely of wood. It was sitting all by itself in the middle of absolutely nothing but forest. The lawn was completely unkept, as the grass was almost at knee height. I was
Mm.
used to this kind of thing, so I didn't think much of it.
You're
I
used
took
to
the
that?
pizza to the
Alright.
front door. There was no doorbell, so I knocked loudly on the door. Within 10 seconds, I heard the sound of footsteps hitting wood on the inside of the house. The footsteps made it to the door and stopped. I started to feel uneasy. I got the feeling that I was being watched. And that's when I noticed there was a peephole in the door. "It's the pizza guy," I called out. I heard a low, harsh-sounding voice on the other side of the door, telling me to bring the pizza out back. I didn't like the idea of going back
You're already there. Why you want me to bring out back?
there. Something didn't seem right. "Are you sure, sir?" I called out. He didn't answer my question. The sound of footsteps didn't move away from the door, so I had the feeling he was still watching me. I almost found myself walking back to my car, but I decided I didn't want any trouble with my boss. The last time I brought a pizza back, he gave me attitude, so I reluctantly walked through the uncut grass and around the small house to the back. I remember there was a shed and a little patio back there. In the patio, there was a table with 4 chairs surrounding it. In one of the chairs, facing away from me, I saw the head of somebody sitting in the seat. I began walking over and said, "Excuse me," but the person didn't even move an inch.
Like he dead.
"Excuse me," I said again louder. Then from behind me, I heard, "Psst, over here."
Oh hell no.
I
Nope.
turned around to see a man poking his head out from the corner of the house,
No.
looking
Mm-mm.
at me with a crazed
No.
smile. "Come over here, I want to show you something."
No. I'm good.
I freaked out, turned around, and ran around the house in the
Yep, I
opposite
would've left.
direction,
Oh my
back to my
god,
car,
ain't that
for
the
some reason still holding the pizza. I got in my car,
Exorcist
started
girl
it,
or
and
the
got
one
away
from
from
Ring?
there. On my way back to the pizzeria, I pulled over to the side of the road and called the police. Eventually, I was informed that there was no sign of anybody having been in that house for a long time. I quit my delivery job a few days after that. I have no idea what would have happened to me had I gone up to that man, but to this day, I still wish I had just turned my head to see who or what was sitting in that patio chair.
It was probably someone dead. If it wasn't moving and wasn't responding, most likely it's dead. Bro, that was just creepy, man. That was creepy.
It was during a blizzard in Valley Stream. I was getting paid $250 to watch some couple's kid while they went away for the weekend. His name was Matthew. This took place on the first night, which was a Friday night. Matthew was already supposedly asleep, while I was in the living room watching a movie.
Want to do true
I got a
crime? What you
knock at the
watching, bro?
door and looked at the clock. It was close to midnight.
Nope.
There was no way I was opening it.
Yup.
Not even 10 seconds later, I heard the sound of 2 or 3 men angrily banging on the door, telling me to open up.
Oh
It
hell
felt
no.
like my heart was about to stop.
No. Hell no.
I took a peek through the blinds, and there was somebody standing right on the other side of the window.
Oh my gosh. Yo.
I fell back in fear, and after managing to get back on my feet, I ran to the kitchen phone first thing to call the police.
Yup.
They said because of the weather, it could take a while for an officer to get here. I was told to take the child and hide somewhere until an officer arrived. They wanted to keep me on the line, but I wasn't thinking clearly in the heat of the moment and hung up. However, it wasn't until I ran through the living room that I realized the banging had stopped. I took a second peek through the living room window. Nobody was there now.
Oh, they broke in.
I heard
It's
the sound
over.
of glass shattering from a few rooms over. My knees started to feel weak as I realized they had just broken the window and were about to climb into the house. I had to run and get Matthew. I couldn't just leave without him.
Yes, you can.
Of course, when I got upstairs, there was no time left to run back downstairs.
I'm sorry, but you were. I props to him of him like worrying about the kid, but you know what? I'm going to hell for that.
As I already heard footsteps and laughter coming from downstairs. I covered Matthew's mouth with my hand as I ran with him into his toy closet. A few minutes dragged on to what felt like half an hour As we sat there in the dark closet, Matthew began to squeal as footsteps on the carpet reached the outside of his bedroom door. There was more than one person. They came inside. There weren't many places to hide in this room. I was actually reflecting on my whole life, so sure I was gonna die. We heard the sound of a police siren
Crazy.
outside, even from in the closet, and then I heard one of the men in the room mutter, "Oh shit." I opened the door back
I'm
up
getting
as I
caught
heard
now.
at least 3 pairs of footsteps hurriedly rushing down the stairs. They didn't get far, as the police later found their footprints in the backyard, leading to our shed.
Nice.
There were 5 men in total, and they were all arrested.
Wow. 5? Damn. That's probably. Oh, damn. One of them, that dude with the beard, that was probably the one that was in the window. Crazy. Alright, well, this last one we react to.
This happened when I was 15 years old. My best friend Anthony wanted me to come over for the night, since his parents would be
I
gone
remember
all
this one a little
weekend.
bit.
I rode my bike over and put it in his backyard before letting myself in through his back door. We played basically every video game he had, from FIFA all the way to Call of Duty, with popcorn and other junk food spilled out all over the floor. As the night progressed, we moved from video games to watching half a movie and getting bored, to doing prank calls at close to 10 o'clock.
Yeah, that sounds like a
Anthony
fun
made
time,
a few
low-key.
calls to different pizza places. When it was my turn, I just dialed a few random numbers in hopes to get someone at their house. On, say, my 4th attempt, I finally reached somebody. A guy with a deep and rough voice picked up, answering with a yeah instead of a hello.
That's kind of weird, though, how he just randomly just got it on his 4th attempt. And if a guy just says yeah, then already, you already know, like, he's already up to something.
Anthony's laughing in the background made me stumble with my words mid-sentence, ultimately cracking up into laughter. I had never done a prank call, so I sucked at it. The guy on the other end was silent. I regained a straight face and tried to continue with the call. It went something like this. Sir, would it be alright if I borrowed one of the wheels from your car?
Stupid, man.
What's your name, kid? My name is Bob. Really? You sure it's not Anthony?
Yeah. That's so.
It hit
Oh,
me like a
bro,
brick.
my heart would have sunk
I
down
looked up at
all the
Anthony,
way to the bottom.
whose face
oh,
was
hell no.
noticeably full of fear. I hung up the phone, not wanting to be on the line with whoever that was for another second. Anthony, who the hell was that? I asked him. I don't know, he told me. Does your caller ID info display your name or something? No, it shows my dad's name. We hopped on the computer and did some research,
That's crazy,
trying to
man.
figure out how it was possible to get someone's name through their phone number. It didn't make sense how he could get Anthony's name so quickly. He was way too young at the time to be on any of those personal information sharing websites. We ended up asking a question on Yahoo Answers, since no one had a similar experience. The question turned up no answers. I suggested he call his dad, but he said he wasn't supposed to have anybody over for the weekend, so he didn't want to call.
I guess. But,
We planned on sleeping in the living room, so we just resumed watching the movie that we hadn't finished from earlier. Right after the phone call had left my mind, me and Anthony looked at each other when we heard his front storm door opening, and then the doorknob to the front door began to turn.
Luckily, you had that.
It only was
door
able
lock.
to turn about halfway before the lock restricted it. Anthony turned off the TV, and I went over to the window to see who it was.
It'd be just
I
like the
spread
last
the blinds
video.
open. There was a tall guy standing outside. He noticed the blinds moving and turned to look at me. I practically threw the blinds back into place. Me and Anthony hid in the kitchen, listening for any more noises. We heard the sound of the gate to the backyard opening, as it was right outside the kitchen window. God damn it, I said. I forgot to shut the back door.
Rude, man.
Anthony urged me to run and shut it. I made it to the hallway leading to his back door, and froze. There was a silhouette standing outside the back door. I don't think he noticed me, but he was surely looking into the house. He opened the door and stepped inside. I tiptoed to the kitchen and motioned for Anthony to follow me upstairs. We made it to his room as quietly as possible, pulling the door shut to avoid making any noise. We crawled under his bed. He had cloth covering the bottom of his bed, so you couldn't see anything under it unless you actually moved the cloth. The doors downstairs all opened, each one getting closer to the stairs. Thumps finally began up the stairs, and he was right outside the door now. The door to the room opened.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I could hear Anthony's breathing. It was too loud. Footsteps moved over to the closet, and then the closet opened. I could hear the coat hangers being slid around as the fabric of the jackets and coats rubbed against each other. Footsteps moved over to the bed and stopped. I felt like my heart was about to explode out of my chest.
Mm-mm.
Anthony's breathing
God
was
damn,
too
Anthony!
loud. I had to cover his mouth with my
Bro,
hand.
he's you out here giving. I'm telling you, Anthony giving away his position. He out here breathing so hard. Like I'm gonna give him a dead stare if I saw him. If one of my friends did that exact same thing, I'm giving him a death stare. I'm just gonna leave him out in the open. Get him more than me. Am I messed up for that? Maybe.
Nothing but silence in the room now. We laid still for so long, I almost thought he wasn't even in the room anymore. I moved my hand away from Anthony's mouth and whispered in his ear, "You think we can make a run for it?" He was about to answer when the most disturbing, memory-haunting scream I'd ever heard filled my ears as Anthony was seemingly dragged out from under the bed.
Yo.
I crawled out and saw him struggling with the man. I desperately looked around for anything to use as a weapon. I settled with the screwdriver sitting on his
The guy in the
nightstand.
lamp?
I hurried over to the man and drove the screwdriver into his back. He let go of Anthony as he let out a scream of agony, giving us time to get the hell out of the house. Running onto the road would give away our position too easily. It would take too long to make it to his neighbor's house. We dove for the tree line in the woods and took cover
That's
behind
crazy.
a bush, watching the house. The back door opened as the man stepped outside, looking around the backyard. He then looked out to the woods. I felt his eyes pass me as he scanned through the tree line. It seemed that it was too dark for him to see us. Then, he turned his head back in our direction. I ducked behind the bush. "Joe, he's coming." "What?" "Dude, get up, we gotta run."
Oh hell no, bro.
He was right. The man was approaching us fast. How could he have seen us? We ran through the woods with the leaves crunching under us, giving away our position. When Anthony tripped over something, I crouched down with him, hoping we had run far enough. Not even 20 seconds later, oncoming footsteps from the direction we were running from came
Bro, I can
fast.
hear that from my left ear.
They slowed down only
Yo,
2 trees
the
away from
audio.
us as we lay face down in the leaves. Moments later, the footsteps take off in another direction. We waited until we could no longer hear them and took off back in the direction of the house. While running, over the sound of leaves crushing and my heavy breathing, I could swear I heard leaves crushing from behind us. We made it back to his backyard, into his house, and this time remembering to shut the back door.
Yep.
We were now able to call the police. Anthony stayed on the line with them, while I patrolled the back windows, making sure nobody was out there. It was so dark though, I couldn't see anything.
Wow.
So I did something that seems stupid today. I turned on his backyard lights, and immediately in the distance, over by the woods, I saw him, standing in front of a big tree. He turned off back into the woods and disappeared out of sight.
You're gonna be like that Terminator.
That
I'll
was
be
the
back.
last time me or Anthony ever saw him. I would be lying if I told you we heard the occasional knocks at our windows or something cliche. No, that was it. 5 years have passed and nothing has happened. Do I wonder if it was somehow linked to the prank call?
Most likely.
Maybe. Does it make sense? Not really. But yeah, this was the story of how me and my still best friend Anthony almost died during a break-in.
That's crazy still. Like rewatching this, because I still remember this a little bit. But it's crazy to believe, like that's like a sort of like ride or die story, because you don't know what's gonna happen. Like you're in a situation where someone's about to break in and you're just either playing dumb or you just panicking. Like it's wild. All right, I'm gonna end it right here though. That was some more llama art story. We're actually almost done with this somewhat. We're kind of halfway, so that's good at least. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If y'all like this, you feel me, like, subscribe, do what you gotta do, and I will see y'all next time. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.